And after an excellent debut run last week, right now we are focusing first off on the driver of the 96 machine in James Thurston. Welcome back every single viewer watching tonight, whether it is on iRacing TV or on YouTube. It is round number 3 of the Full-Send IndyCar Championship, and the Freeman Racing Network 30 will get underway in a few minutes' time. Practice has been extended ever so slightly. It won't be for 30 minutes. We only have about 10 minutes remaining in practice at the very most for every driver to get themselves underway at the fastest possible speed. At the moment, James Thurston is second on the charts here in Montreal, north of the border for the first time this season in Montreal, Quebec, and Thurston adapting to it quite well. Best lap at the moment is a 122.744. Michael Cormettis, top of the charts in a 25 machine. He's going to put him to the wall there, but he had a 122.171 as his best lap thus far, and it looks like a majority of the drivers are not on hot laps. Marcus Vanderlei is, however, and he will be on his way once again. Best lap currently is a 1:29.738, getting to understand that car better and better time after time. Vanderlei coming back once again. Glad to have him. As a matter of fact, this is his debut race here, but coming back to race a similar group of drivers compared to what he is used to. And the driver of that 56 machine currently a few seconds off the pace, but he is making his way through Montreal once again and learning more and more each time by. How about Ethan Sky now in the walls? It looks like everyone is now shooting themselves into the wall as we wait for practice to conclude. James Thurston going backwards. Michael Cormettis off of the racing surface, and it looks like Thurston is going to go back all the way through the front straightaway, and that is not going to disqualify him. It looks like he's clearing penalties as we speak. And the majority of these drivers not trying to learn the track. Marcus Vanderlei seems to be in the exact opposite scenario. The driver of the 56 machine going around the hairpin once again on the red alternate tires. Every driver so far is on alternate tires, Vanderlei included. Now we have a collection of 9 drivers registered for the night. 8 drivers are on the track currently. We'll see whether or not every one of these guys chooses to show up at the tail end of it. And Vanderlei flies into the barrier, and his best lap still a 1:29 run. River Page on his way now, and let's see what he can do. Coming down to the second to last section of the circuit before the front straightaway would start finish line. Getting into the dirt just a bit. Page fourth on the charts as we only have so much time before we get into it. He is looking to have some good pace. He is currently only 2.5 seconds away from the best time that Michael Cormettis has set, and only about 0.7 of a second away from Aiden Walker's time, which is third on the charts thus far. It's the Page Motorsport Designs machine, running very well thus far. His best lap, 1:24. Let's see what he can do here as he looks to be a bit quicker time after time than Marcus Vanderlei was focused on beforehand. However, Page using push to pass here. Push to pass will be limited in this event. 10 uses throughout 30 laps for up to 20 seconds, or until the driver is not using full throttle. If they get off the throttle just a bit, that will disable push to pass. And push to pass allows for an up to extra 60 brake horsepower. River Page knowing that's especially important as he tries to use it. It looks like he's going to overshoot the corner there. Aiden Walker and Michael Cormettis now battling through as they're catching up both to Marcus Vanderlei. Let's run on board Marcus Vanderlei here. And check out the rear view camera. See the cockpit camera. He's going to shoot right into the wall. And wrecks out in front of Cormettis and Aiden Walker, who doesn't appear to be on the track now. However, that is the case. They're still chasing one another. And with a close-up drone camera, you can see Michael Cormettis side by side, almost there with Aiden Walker, debuting this camera for the first time here. We are proud to say we developed it in-house. A little bit of inspiration. We got to thank Darius Dadgar of Osorel. However, we're able to use it to the fullest here as Aiden Walker and Michael Cormettis blocking. Walker goes to the grass, and he does make contact with Michael Cormettis. Both around. Michael Cormettis damaged and Aiden Walker damaged as well. River Page on his way and crashes right into the barrier. And a big time hit for the driver of the 24 machine. The majority of these guys still not racing with one another. Now Cormettis side by side with Aiden Walker. They're still going here, fighting throughout. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with Walker third on the charts, racing with the fastest driver thus far. Certainly going to allow him to get some experience and perhaps get a little quicker as the night goes on. Still a lot of time to get. As 30 laps here in the Freeman Racing Network, 30 is a lot of time. They both go side by side again. Cormettis is going to go around the outside, making the maneuver there. And he makes it stick as they both use push to pass down the straightaway. And both drivers hoping for impressive runs here tonight, keeping themselves in the championship mix. Walker, of course, we saw him the last time buying the Long Beach Bash, however, did not play out to his favor. As an early retiree, while his teammate of Andrew Schulte led a majority of the race and fell back in the final segment. Walker right there with Cormettis once again. And James Thurston now going throughout a full lap. He's going to use push to pass, as a matter of fact. And he still rolls as well. Aiden Walker right behind Cormettis, so they're going to play the defensive game once again. It looks like they will. Both of them. And that's going to destroy the Aiden Walker machine and then destroy Michael Cormettis, who actually looks to still be driving, but certainly taking a hard hit as James Thurston watches. Comes out on track. There's a burnout right in front, and that will conclude practice. Michael Cormettis, top of the charts during practice. We'll see whether or not he keeps it that way during the race. 3 laps of action coming your way. This is the Full-Send IndyCar Championship, and we are just getting started. 10 minutes of qualifying to determine your running order. Let's see what all these guys have in store for one another, and who will get the pole position. Aiden Walker on the track. Kyle Freeman now on his way. James Thurston as well. And Michael Cormettis has made his way to the track. Marcus Vanderlee already on his way as well. And a multitude of drivers already getting it started. And Marcus Vanderlee, one of them. River Page on his way. Doing double duty here tonight as a driver and the dedicated admin, as it looks like he's going to back it down. Ethan Skye, however, pushing it here through the DRS zone. DRS, of course, not on these Formula 1 machines. Formula 1 machines, but the IndyCars having pushed a pass. It is their equivalent with a very, very noticeable advantage compared to those who can't use it. And Ethan Skye looking to get something done here. A very aggressive race he ran last week. Got involved with quite a few drivers, and as a matter of fact, F4L Cup Series went the same way. A 3-race ban for Ethan Skye in the F4L Cup Series on Wednesday nights. But he's still here, racing against some of the drivers that he had incidents with beforehand. Aiden Walker, far from the hairpin segment for now. The 93 machine pretty far off of the start-finish line. River Page on his way once again, but it's going to be the driver of the 54 machine, Ethan Skye, leading us to the time to laps. James Thurston right there as well, and Thurston in front of Ethan Skye. Let's see if his lap time will be that much quicker. The 96 is on his way. Let's watch on board with James Thurston. And you can see how he hugs the curves, getting all the way into the deep red. Time after time, some of these curves here in Montreal are not just the red and white pattern. You can see the more deeper red segment, the full red, is somewhat within it. But before the grass, you can use it as much as you want, so long as you don't get on the grass and get an off track, which will invalidate your lap time. And you can see James Thurston coming through, almost getting onto the whiter curves, the sausage curves, using everything to the limit. That's what the 96 machine is doing here. He's doing it quite nicely. Coming down to the hairpin. You can see his right side tires get all the way toward the curb. We watch from the rear view. The onboard camera showing how stable he is. His wheel at the moment. And coming down to the wall of champions here. And he's going to get through quite nicely. Gets a bit on the white curb all the way down. And coming back to the stripe, James Thurston will record the first lap in qualifying, and that will be a 1 minute 22.8 on the dot, 0.8 of a second. And Ethan Skye, second position with a 124.726. Kyle Freeman with a 124.752. And Michael Cormettis goes top of the charts with a 122.658. Marcus Vanderlee on his way as well. And it looks like, well, he's only on pit road. He will be exiting from pit road shortly. And Michael Cormetis on a tear so far. Fastest in practice, fastest in the race. We'll see whether or not he's able to do that. With a lot of time here to determine whether or not he has that speed. But right now, the 25 machine looking quite nice. And he is putting it to the... You can see that he uses absolutely everything of the curb. You can see that James Thurston got on the curb with his right side or his left side, depending on the section of the track he was on. But he gets it almost halfway through the curb. Turn after turn, Michael Cormetis does. And he is pushing all the way. No push to pass here. It's going to be all about the momentum you can preserve with the best lines, with no bailout to be seen. 25 machine coming down to the final segment here. And he takes it quite nicely. Nothing else. And he leaves nothing behind. Thurston right now second on the charts, but it will be Michael Cormetis extending his lead on that pole position with a 1 minute 22.609. A nice lap for the driver of Cormetis, and his qualifying run is over. How about Aiden Walker on his way through a second lap now? Kyle Freeman, best he can do is the 5th position with a 1 minute 24.752. Exactly 1 second behind Aiden Walker's best lap of 1 minute 23.752. River Page on his way for his first lap. Marcus Vanderlei still on pit road, has not entered the racing surface just yet. And Aiden Walker pushing it for the final time here. And he's claws into the 1 minute 23 zone. He might just be able to peep his way into the 1 minute 22's final chance here. He's going to use the last section quite nicely. Almost gets into the tire wall there. And out of the final turn, Walker, it's going to be position number 3. Not fast enough. It's going to be a 1 minute 20.4311. 24-second lap for Aiden Walker as River Page is on his way for his first lap. And Marcus Vanderlei still sits on pit road. CJ Allman has not come onto the track just yet. We'll see whether or not the driver of the 97 machine is electing not to qualify, or if he simply not be racing with us. We're going to find out in just a few moments' time. Let's get back to the action here as we watch River Page pushing it to the limit. Up to 6th gear, you can see how much that car is shaking. No power steering here in the IndyCar Series, and of course the Full-Send IndyCar Championship complies to those rules. And Aiden Walker getting up to 3rd with those rules. Can River Page usurp him that time by coming down to the stripe for River Page? The first lap will be a 1 minute 25.279, and it will not count. Lap invalidated. He's got one more to put it on the board. Let's see what he can do this time by number 24 machine. A lot on the table here. And let's see what he's got in store, as he is going to soar into the curbs. As we watch, rounding the bend, River Page every time, using the most of the track, but unfortunately not getting the power down just yet. We'll see whether or not he can improve on that as the race goes on. And we are going to get up right behind him and see how he does it. Getting all the way down to the stripe white line, gets it almost on the curb, but misses the apex just a bit in every single maneuver. Whether or not it's perfect, that determines how good your lap will be. And a driver like River Page knows it coming down to the hairpin, a very crucial part, does not smoke up the tires one bit. And Page gets back on his way quite nicely through there. Might be able to pick up a position or two, as he is looking to have a valid lap that time by. First lap invalidated to a first sector off-track penalty. Not necessarily a penalty, but it did make him much slower. It did end up taking away the validation of his lap. But this time by, River Page clean and green coming down to the stripe. The number 24 machine will be putting it in position number 4. River Page goes up to the 2nd row, and he will usurp Ethan Skye in 5th. Marcus Vanderlei, the only man to be waiting on a lap just yet, and no other driver is on the track for qualifying. We will wait and see whether or not drivers will be advancing to the racing session. We're going to find out in just a moment's time, as with 2 minutes remaining, Michael Cormetis is on the pole position, and he's not in a voice chat at the moment. As a matter of fact, the majority of these guys are not on any voice chat. And it looks like the only 2 drivers who are CJ Allman, who has not set a qualifying lap. and Ethan Skye, who has not done so as well. Looks like a little bit of a blip there. Apologies for that timing and scoring having a bit of an error, but we keep going as we wait and see whether or not Marcus Vanderlei will roll out, and roll out he does just a bit. But Vanderlei not enough time to make it happen in a qualifying lap, so we're not sure what he's doing. And it looks like he has just reset his car. Certainly there in the car, but not making a qualifying run. And I believe that will lead us into qualifying. No driver on the racetrack here in the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, Montreal. An empty track for now, but not for much longer. 1 minute before we get into the action, and we will wait and see what these guys have in store for us. 30 laps of action, and it will be coming quite soon. All of the drivers are ready for the showdown here as we are going into the racing session. Let's get your starting grid live, and we will see who kicks it off here in the Freeman Racing Network 30 in Montreal. Let's get to the show. Find out what's going to happen. And loading up, we will see that it's going to be 9 cars loaded into the session. Although it looks like now we only have a total of 7 cars on the grid. We'll see whether or not that is the case, as 2 drivers have not yet qualified. And it looks like we have some on the track for now. It looks like only Ethan Skye. We'll find out whether or not that is the case. And that is not Michael Cormetis. Your pole sitter is there. And now let's get to your starting grid. Aiden Walker is not in the first position. He is in the third. It will be Michael Cormetis with a 122.609 top of the charts. James Thurston beside him with a 122.8 on the dot. 0.8 of a second, no thousandth to spare. And third is going to be Aiden Walker with a 123.752. River Page in fourth with a 124.124. How about that for Page in position number 4? And Ethan Skye with a 1 minute 24 second 7:07, the decimals to round him out. And Kyle Freeman is going to be in the 6th position for now with 124.752. And it's going to be the remainder of the field. As you can see, Marcus Vanderlei in 7th, CJ Allman in the 9th position. Going to be raised up into 8th, as I believe we have a timing scoring error on a remaining driver of the 62 machine. It appears to be the 29er RN. Going to try to find out what goes on there. We do not have the number 62 on our timing and scoring charts just yet. CJ Allman from 9th to 8th on the grid. We will get going as the pace car lights are off. Next time will be the first time we see the green flag underway. And it will be led by the Michael Cormetis machine. And the pace car is ready to go rolling. This time by James Thurston puts it into gear, and we will get to the show here. The iRacing safety car rolls off for the first time, coming down the final segment before the front straightaway. We currently have 6 cars on the running. Marcus Vanderlei has not yet moved from his position on the grid and not aware what's going on with the driver of the 56 machine. Meaning we do have 7 cars currently rolling. CJ Allman, not one of them. It appears that he has muted and deafened. He's had to leave this event prematurely, but it's going to be Michael Cormetis leading the way here in Montreal. Let's get things started in the Freeman Racing Network 30. The pace car is off, and for the first time tonight, we are green. And let's go racing to the Freeman Racing Network 30 once more. Saying it again, Kyle Freeman, of course. In 6th now, it's Cormetis. And Thurston gets it on the inside line for now. Going to be James Thurston leading the way over Michael Cormetis. And now River Page side by side for 2nd. Aiden Walker in 4th. Ethan Skye in 5th. Kyle Freeman in 6th. And Marcus Vanderlei gets on his way very far behind as Cormetis is going for a big spin. Takes out Kyle Freeman. And that's a multi-car incident. Marcus Vanderlei getting up to both of them. And Vanderlei will be able to see the both of them.
The yellow flag
is out immediately here in Montreal. And that is your first incident of the night, just a few turns into it. And Olympic Michael Cormetis still drives it, with one of his 2 fast repairs certainly in the near future for him. Let's find out what happened as CJ Allman misses a start and is on the grid. Looks like he's not going to miss much, not even a lap down for the Allman machine. And Our 8th driver has arrived, but not before some chaos. So let's go back a minute and see that incident once again. And you can see here from the far angle, goes through, and Michael Cormetis loses it and trying to send it back. Looks like that was a single car incident. And gets it down into the guardrail and sends it back up the track. Collects Kyle Freeman. And Freeman destroyed as well. The nose absolutely destroyed. And Kyle Freeman with a similar amount of damage compared to Michael Cormetis. Both have one wheel destroyed, although for Cormetis appears to have fixed itself somewhat. It is the right front on both machines. Dilapidation. There go both. Have to come into pit road. Cormetis on his way. Kyle Freeman there as well. And CJ Allman catching up to the pack in the Valvoline number 97 machine. Not missing much. Lap 2 of 30. And he'll have a chance to start 2 positions up on where he began the night. Thanks to the work of Cormetis. Kyle Freeman, as it looks like Ethan Skye might have gotten into River Page there. Trying to find out what happened. Ethan Skye certainly watches as River Page has some damage. And we're going to check back a minute, and this is new damage. We're going to try to see what caused it. Oh, Page spins under yellow and gets it going once again. River Page. The front end is destroyed. And how about that for the driver of the 24 machine under the yellow flag? James Thurston leads it. And Michael Cormetis, CJ Allman, Kyle Freeman all catching up to the pack. And Kyle Freeman going to be the leader of those trying to get up there, as he's only about a hairpin behind. Going to go through the hairpin, and he will be with the remainder of the field here. And that is what he does. Getting all the way up, down to the final segment here. And Kyle Freeman leads those who, of course, had to pit with the leader of this race, James Thurston, the 96 machine. Thurston, Walker, River Page, your podium thus far. Ethan Skye is in 4th. It will be Marcus Vanderlei in 5th. Kyle Freeman 6th. Cormetis 7th. And CJ Allman rounds out the pack, coming toward the back half of the field here. Lap 2 of 30. And it will become lap 3 of 30 as River Page comes down onto pit road. Surely this one's going to be the position that CJ Allman will get. 3 laps in. And Thurston watching as it still looks like we have 2 laps of pacing remaining. Ethan Skye choosing to take the grass through the first turn instead of taking the turn, as a matter of fact. And River Page now down in 8th, getting his front ring repaired. CJ Allman still catching up to the pack. Almost a full lap behind, getting caught out. A situation where he came to the track just a bit late. But he is there. It's almost like he was never gone. And James Thurston, still the leader of this pack. With Aiden Walker in 2nd, he knows that he still has a chance to get within the driver of the 96 machine. We'll see whether or not he's able to do so for now, but he is certainly within the car line at the start. We saw that he had a strong start as well. Michael Cormetis getting caught out by the driver of the 96 machine. There's still an advantageous move for James to Thurston. They made it quite nicely. And as we wait for the race to get back under green, how we get an interview with the driver of the 96 machine, James Thurston, leading so far. How you feeling?
I just don't want to get wrecked. That's pretty much everything right now. The car feels fine as long as I don't do something stupid on the restart. And yeah, there's obviously not a ton of people in here, but I think we have a couple of good guys, so hopefully it'll be a good race.
And absolutely, right now it looks like we have 8 people on the track leading, as you got a very good start on Michael Cormetis, who eventually spun out there in the first lap. How are you feeling with the guys behind you now, Aiden Walker and Ethan Skye, looking to contend for that victory as a driver like Cormetis will try to run through the field on this restart?
I think it's going to depend on if we can pull strategy or not, because we don't have enough fuel to finish the race without pitting. So it depends on if that's going to happen under a yellow or if we'll have to do that under green. But I think dirty air should be enough to hold them off, but you never know. Obviously, Cormenis looked really quick in practice and qualifying, so I think he just knows the track a little better than me. So we'll just have to see how it goes.
Absolutely, and every driver at the moment not going through one of their push-to passes, and all in alternate tires. Will the alternate tire strategy be the way to go, and how will push-to passing affect the remainder of this event, specifically the end?
I'm not sure. I think push-to-pass will probably, mean something there at the end, but it sounds like the alternates are the way to go, just because the hard tires are really slick here. But I mean, I haven't tested them out yet. So, I mean, if it comes to that, where we have to go for a long run, might put them on and see how they last, but it doesn't really look like we're going to get that this race, so we'll just see how it goes.
Absolutely going to play it by ear here. The driver of the 96 machine leading the way thus far in Montreal. It's James Thurston, the 96 machine. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it. James Thurston going to go back into the voice chat. He is alongside the remainder of the race control team. A good majority of these guys, as a matter of fact, are on the race control team, with league owner Kyle Freeman in the 6th position behind CJ Allman. We do hear someone getting to the guardrail just a bit. Thurston still leading this pack. Looks to be a single file restart so far. These guys might bunch up coming to the front straightaway, but it doesn't look like that will be the case. Everyone waits to find out when the green flag will come out. Certainly only going to come out in just about a minute or so's time. This restart will be crucial. Track position already proving to be the major factor. Michael Cormetis up front, starting on the pole. Now down to the middle of the pack due to that first lap incident. Losing more time as it goes on here. Not good for the driver of the 25 machine. Cormetis looking to bounce back early. We'll see whether or not he is capable of doing so. As the pace car going to fly by, enter the hairpin section one last time before we get this thing going in green flag condition. And 8 cars still on the racing surface. Every one of them looking as competitive as ever. And at the moment, only one driver, now 2 drivers have taken their faster pairs in Kyle Freeman and Michael Cormetis. We'll see what they have left for the field. Only one fast repair through out of the total of 2 that they have at their disposal. Final time through before we hit the wall of champions and hit the front straightaway. And we'll see what these guys have in it, as we still have more than 25 laps remaining once we get back to the show here. And leading them off thus far, it is James Thurston, Aiden Walker. Right behind him, Ethan Scott, 3rd, Marcus Vanderleet, 5th, CJ Allman, 6th, River Page, Freeman and Cormetis around out the field, but it's James Thurston leading them back to green, right back at it. Let's go racing once again in Montreal. And Thurston getting a monster start thus far. Aiden Walker right behind him. Ethan Sky in 3rd. Marcus Vanderleet in 4th. And CJ Allman 5th. Page in 6th. And it looks like a single file ordeal. CJ Allman already up into the 5th spot with very minimal practice and qualifying time. Already making some positions as Thurston slides. And Ethan Sky is going to get it right into the wall. Big time incident for him. CJ Allman as well. And Allman in the back of the pack scenario. Michael Cormetis having a bit of trouble here with Ethan Sky right behind him, but Sky gets wiggled off his tail. And Freeman in 5th, now chasing River Page. Now he's going to go down to the inside, not going to make the move for that time by. And chasing down the number 24 machine. This is for Marcus Vanderleet up to 3rd, looking as fast as he has all night long. River Page closing in. And it looks like it's going to be Cormetis going almost off of the surface, as he almost has some contact there with Freeman. How about that? Aiden Walker running away with James Thurston, keeping a good pace and keeping a close distance to the driver of the 96 machine 5 laps in. And we are just getting started. Marcus Vanderleet watching as they go side by side. Looks like Freeman is not going to get through that time by without incident. He moves back to 7th as Ethan Sky gets it right behind Michael Cormetis once more. Page still fighting. Let's see what these guys have. Is Ethan Sky going to go almost off the track there? Kyle Freeman having a bit of trouble. CJ Allman pulls it into pit road, getting himself a fast repair, learning the track as they come. Thurston shakes off Walker for now. It's a 1 second deficit from first to second. And Vanderlei ahead just barely. As Kyle Freeman getting some pressure now from Ethan Sky. Michael Cormetis now seems to be clean and green, chasing both Vanderlei and River Page. Ethan Sky, no contact there, but it looks like Kyle Freeman going to lose an awful lot of time. No damage to the car, and Freeman keeps it going. Cormetis goes to the outside of the track, and River Page comes right back on, and Cormetis is up to fourth, chasing down Marcus Vanderlei, setting his best laps thus far in the third position. As you can see, Aiden Walker going to use the draft to his advantage. Only one driver has used push to pass thus far. It's River Page, whose 2 push to passes down 6 laps in. Aiden Walker chases down Thurston once again. We're going to get through that section fine this time. And no deficit gained or lost. It's still a 9/10 of a second gain between these two drivers. Walker in second and James Thurston in the first position for that 96 Haas machine. Doing a great job this time by. Had a lot of pace last week at Long Beach. Not able to use it to his advantage. But certainly looking for a change of momentum here as he enters the second race of the season. A debutant last week, and looking to prove that that performance was far from a fluke. And he's doing that quite nicely thus far. In the third spot, Marcus Vanderlei has a 0.3 of a second advantage that is going to dissipate here, as he's going to have to let Michael Cormetis by. River Page going to chase him next. Page now sees the driver of the 56 is in frame for the first time in quite a while as Ethan Sky chases him down at the same pace. Now with Sky in the McLaren Formula 1 inspired machine, he's got some good pace here as he gets right behind Page. Kyle Freeman there as well. CJ Allman going to choose to opt for the primary tires, going for a long run strategy here, trying to get to grips with this track. As Cormetis watches the top 2 drivers as Thurston pulls away by 0.4 of a second. This lap by James Thurston leads by 1.3 seconds exactly that time through. And that was a 1:23.644. The driver of the 96, Aiden Walker, 1:24.006. And he is just a few tenths off. Michael Cormetis trying to get up to the pace of the leaders. He gets through on Marcus Vanderlei a little bit cautiously. And he is 6.5 seconds behind your race leader. Closest battle on the racetrack now. River Page, Ethan Sky. As Page losing ground to the driver, the 54, lap after lap. And Kyle Freeman still rolling through in the 7th spot. As CJ Allman getting back onto the surface looks to be a bit faster than Freeman. And might be able to claw him down if Freeman makes a mistake. As a matter of fact, how about this? Michael Cormetis gaining on Aiden Walker now within 4 seconds of the race leaders, and both of them seem to be having a bit of trouble controlling the car. They might have actually gotten into an incident. We're going to check back 20 seconds. Because it looks like these two might have had some contact. A much slower lap for the both of them. We will find out why. It looks like it happened through this segment, and that is the case. James Thurston suffers from the same issue as Aiden Walker. Thurston goes wide first. Aiden Walker loses that much more time. And he was far slower through that lap, both of them losing 2.8 seconds. As Michael Cormetis gains, and now it's a 4-second ball game for the race lead. CJ Allman having a bit of trouble, and it looks like he's behind the wall once again. Instant replay on the matter will show it happened through the wall of champions. We're going to find out why. And looked on the quick replay that we saw that it was due to perhaps an issue with the sausage curves. We're going to find out whether or not that was the case, and that it was. Bounces right into the wall and shoots it down to the inside line. A little bit more trouble for CJ Allman. This is going to send him 1 lap down for certain, but he gets down to pit road quite quickly. And it saves him from losing that much more time. As River Page still chasing down Ethan Sky. It's a second, now 3/10 of a second between the top two drivers in this battle for the top 5. Kyle Freeman on the outskirts of it as Page gets by Marcus Vanderlei. An awful lot of time that time by. No damage to the car. He still keeps going. Kyle Freeman now going to chase him. And Page with Ethan Skye now within 3/10 of a second and now just a bit less. They're going to be inching it down 100th of a second by 100th of a second. And now Ethan Skye using his 4th push to pass of the night. 9 laps in. And down to the inside line. Ethan Skye gets it once again on River Page. Will there be a crossover move? No, there will not be. Page settles for what he has and watches the aggression. And the driver of Ethan Skye, Michael Cormetis, still going through. Page going to get him that time by once again. It's a cat and mouse battle here. They're so close to one another. It's unbelievable. And they're now separated by 1/10 of a second. Skye going to go for the move this time by. And Page going to let him. Gets it back on the crossover. And some nice forward thinking there from Page. Keeps him in the mix. Lets him by for just a moment and gets him on the ideal line. And give him just enough room to make the maneuver happen. 10 laps in out of 30. Ethan Skye are right behind. Not a lot of time before we see those two have to come down pit road and this race is going. No yellow since that first lap incident. As Aiden Walker being chased down by Michael Cormetis. Cormetis losing time to the leaders, but both of the drivers chasing Thurston in frame with Thurston now. Aiden Walker the slower of which. And Thurston a very, very nice exit through the final turn as CJ Allman down on pit road. And getting the service once more. That's going to be second and final fast repair, I believe. As River Page going to watch as Ethan Skye gets the position that time by both hot the curves. Skye goes outside of it and it's going to be River Page going within the curve. How about that? As Marcus Vanderlei facing the pressure from Kyle Freeman will keep a watch on that battle. It's 8 laps in, only one man on pit road multiple times over. That's CJ Allman having a lot of trouble here as he exits right behind Page and Ethan Skye. And that time by, Kyle Freeman gets through Marcus Vanderlei. Vanderlei lets him through, and the battle rages on as Michael Cormetis is gaining slowly but surely. On Aiden Walker, they do touch just a bit, side pod to side pod. And Aiden Walker keeps it straight. Cormetis has the advantage through that sector. Coming down to the hairpin. Thurston just a bit in frame. It's going to be a dive bomb there for the 93 machine, and will Cormetis be able to get through that time by? Gets through on the sideways maneuver. And no fast repair in use just yet. No push to pass. Either driver. And how about that? Michael Cormetis going to get down side by side. It's all about how they get through this section. Will it be a crossover maneuver? We're going to find out. Cormetis lets him down. And now he's going to let him down easier. Look at that, Aiden Walker gets through Michael Cormetis in third, Ethan Skye fourth. But don't count out River Page just yet, he's still close in the battle. Now James Thurston leading the way by 6 full seconds. A great effort from the driver of the 96 machine. He's pushing it to the limit and it shows. Ethan Skye has to push it just a bit quicker if he wants to keep it ahead of River Page by a consistent margin. As one slip up, like what we just saw, he gets into the grass just a bit. It's going to cost him. And it cost him once again. But not enough time to lose the position. River Page losing more and more time. It's a 1 second gap between the two drivers. As Kyle Freeman pushes it as well in 6th now. Marcus Vanderlei in 7th gets into the wall just a bit, perhaps just a brush. And CJ Allman in position number 8. Cormetis is in 2nd now. James Thurston in 1st. Aiden Walker is now behind the Michael Cormetis machine. And Cormetis getting by might give him a chance to get up into the front of the pack. And of course he's in the front of this pack. The battle for 2nd. Might be able to claw down on James Thurston. Thurston looking flawless just far. Thus far. No mistake made from the 96 machine as Marcus Vanderlei going to get by on River Page, and Marcus Vanderlei's going to go around and contact with River Page. Both of them going to get some damage that time by. Keep going, but no front wing. Gets through on Vanderlei nonetheless. Aiden Walker going to lose an awful lot of time there as well. Single car incident. Ethan Skye going to come up right on him as they come through the front straightaway. And Vanderlei loses it to River Page, who has no front wing. And rather half a front wing. He still keeps it going. And we'll see whether or not he can get back up to Kyle Freeman for 5th. Aiden Walker losing some time to Ethan Skye there within 1 second now. As CJ Allman having some trouble, still 8 seconds behind on the pace of his last lap. Best lap for Allman this time, 1 minute and 29 seconds. James Thurston, his last lap was a 1 minute 24 second lap, the fastest of any driver by a wide margin, half a second faster than that of Michael Cormetis. As Ethan Skye is putting down the pressure on the driver. The 93 machine getting closer and closer, inches up, and nice lunge there through the exit. 13 laps in, he might be able to make something happen. Defense for Aiden Walker, side by side. Ethan Skye goes down to the inside line, and now it's going to be Aiden Walker in position number 4. But crossover maneuver might keep him in the mix here. Coming down to the wall of champions in the front straightaway, we'll see what they can do. And they are now very close to one another. It's going to be Vanderlei and River Page locked up. Their cars are conjoined and they will not be able to move. They are fighting with one another as CJ Allman parks it practically on the hairpin, and Allman not happy about that. 2 laps down and he almost gets into a wreck. Vanderlei is let go. River Page not happy, and they made contact once again. Instant replay on the matter to see what happened. And it looks like Vanderlei sends it in big time, and Page just turns in on him and hooks him. And CJ Allman watches and tries to get by, not able to do so. And looks like River Page going to come down pit road. Marcus Vanderlei going to do the same, and they will eventually be 1 lap down as they have to take all those repairs. Michael Cormetis in second. Ethan Skye now in position number 3, 15 seconds behind on the race leader. Aiden Walker loses that much more, and both these two, Marcus Vanderlei and River Page, going to come out of pit road at a similar time. James Thurston leading by 4 seconds. Michael Cormetis gets him by almost a second and a half, almost 2 seconds as a matter of fact. That lap by, it's a 4-second deficit to the leader for Cormetis. He's getting closer and closer. And Marcus Vanderlei losing time. River Page now has the full pace. Might be able to make a maneuver on Marcus if he wants to make one happen. Almost halfway through. And Page has some jet-setting pace. And now with a full front wing, he's getting closer and closer. 1 fast repair for each of them. And Page gets up to the side of Vanderlei. And we'll be able to complete it. We're going to find out coming down to the inside line. Vanderlei almost loses it. And he's going to give that position, conceded it to the 6th position driver now, River Page. Kyle Freeman fighting for 4th. Aiden Walker is down to 5th. And he has put it in pit road already. Freeman in position number 4. Ethan Skye is in 3rd. And he comes through. As James Thurston only has a 4-second advantage to his rival in this race, Michael Cormetis, the man who sat on the pole position, the man who was the fastest in practice, looks to be the man who's the fastest on the racetrack. As Cormetis with a 13-lap old set of tires reeling in James Thurston, who has a 15-lap set. And both drivers are reeling in the lap cars of River Page and Marcus Vanderlei. Page, the closest of which to the leaders, as James Thurston just comes into the frame, and he's going to come into pit road, burns it down there, and Michael Cormetis does the same thing, both coming into pit road at the same time, and this is crunch time for the both of them. We'll see whether or not pit strategy plays in the favor of one driver or another. Ethan Skye coming down as well. We'll see whether or not he chooses to come in this time by halfway through, and he will come in same time as your race leaders. Coming out of pit road, we're going to find out whether or not they have the pace to beat each other out. Michael Cormetis with the pole position stall will get out first, and James Thurston, left to the wayside, is losing an awful lot of time at pit road. Now it's 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 9 seconds. He's over 10 seconds back of Cormetis, who's out with a vengeance. Primary tires for Michael Cormetis as green flag strategy is underway. Kyle Freeman misses his pit stall. Ethan Skye misses his pit stall as well. and Thurston taking a lot of time on pit road. A 42-second pit stop, and he is losing that much more. Kyle Freeman on his way in third now. Aiden Walker still on the racetrack in second. James Thurston out in fourth, and he is 35 seconds behind race leader Michael Cormetis. An impressive job. The pit road strategy plays off very well for Michael Cormetis, and how about that? The 25 is your new race leader. Ethan Skye losing an awful lot of time down in seventh now. River Page on his way chasing CJ Allman. Allman 2 laps down as we speak. And with 15 laps to go, just about halfway through this event, we're going to take it to a quick crank it up, and let's see how these drivers go at it at the fullest pace. Time for a crank it up here on iRock TV and the Fireball Talks NASCAR YouTube channel. We hope that you enjoy the show, and if you support it, the support means the world. Let's hear those engines roar. Dilapidated. They are a brief break away from the action. We are back, and it looks like CJ Oman going to get into the wall there. He's got half a front wing, and the driver of the 97 machine, his racing night. A little bit of a up and down roller coaster, getting back into the action after missing the start, but he once again gets into the wall, and all running with half a front wing, having a lot of trouble here tonight in Montreal. Ethan Skye 7th. Marcus Vanderlee is in 6th. In position number 5, River Page as James Thurston reels in Kyle Freeman for 3rd. 22 seconds the difference between Michael Cormetis and Aiden Walker. Walker is pretty far behind here. 22 seconds. He's got to pick up the pace if he wants to catch Michael Cormetis. That time by 2/100th of a second slower. But James Thurston, fastest man on the racetrack, gains 1/10 of the 34-second advantage that Michael Cormetis has over him. Certainly not enough to gain back the victory just yet. He might just need a caution if he wants a chance. CJ Allen coming down pit road once more. And Ethan Skye getting chased down by Michael Cormetis. This is not for position. This is the lap car of Skye, the race leader of Cormetis. And with 13 laps left, already coming into some lead lap problems. The first lap car under green will be Ethan Skye to pass. And we'll see how effortlessly Michael Cormetis can dispose of him. Going to be a very crucial period to see what he can do here. As they go side by side in the back of the pack fighting for a position. Michael Cormetis not experiencing that just far. As Kyle Freeman putting on the push to pass, chased down by James Thurston. Doing everything he can to be perhaps a position ahead at the tail end of the event. My apologies there. As the fathead eyewear number 29 machine gets into the wall there, brushes it just a bit, and that's going to lose him that much more momentum. Freeman still trying to hold down a position as James Thurston chases him down, and the FRN machine not having a great night here. Thurston absolutely the fastest man on the racetrack, 0.2 of a second faster that lap compared to your race leader. 4 seconds becomes 33.9. Doing an awful lot of time to make up as River Page loses an awful lot of time. Marcus Vanderlee chasing him down. Vanderlee down 2 seconds on his fastest lap, getting quicker and quicker each time by. And now, Vanderlei going to swoosh up to the high side. Side by side with River Page. What's going to happen here? Nothing thus far. A bit of a bobble. And Vanderlei not going to get that position just yet. And River Page keeps it for now. River Page gets that 5th spot. Vanderlei in the 56 machine is going to get into the grass. Keeps it together, but you can hear those tires are screaming for their life. And Ethan Skye is still on the lead lap. Michael Cormetis not just there. It looks like Michael Cormetis has blinked out just a bit. We're going to see whether or not that is the case for certain. He is not on the racing surface. And for now, the lead has been relinquished by Cormetis. And your race leader is, according to timing and scoring, Aiden Walker. We'll see whether or not he comes back onto the track, although it looks like now the 93 would lead by 10 seconds if that is the case. Certainly, Cormetis is going to pop up in just a moment. The only driver off of the racetrack at the moment appears to be Michael Cormetis. We are not aware why that is the case. He's still in voice chat, and he has not left that. We'll find out whether or not the winner-to-be, perhaps, also had an issue. Might just be off the track for that reason. Cormetis falling down the running order, now down to 5th. And it looks like for certain that is a connection issue. He has fallen through the running order, and Michael Cormetis from the race lead is down and out. I mean, that's going to change everything here if that is truly the case. He is not reconnected, and Aiden Walker now leads about 10 seconds. A major development. Walker takes position number 1, and Cormetis falls down and out. Yellow flag is out, and I believe it comes out for Michael Cormetis. And the caution out for the driver of the 25 machine, disconnected due to an internet issue. And that is the worst fate for any driver's night. Michael Cormetis trying to reconnect as we speak. And Aiden Walker is the race leader. And we'll see whether or not they give the position back to him. Certainly they will not. He is now 1 lap down to Aiden Walker. And with a 34-second advantage. Cormetis led the way by a long shot. And River Page side by side with Marcus Vanderlei. Freeman in 3rd. James Thurston is in 2nd. And their new race leader is Aiden Walker, who usurps the throne from the disconnected Michael Cormetis machine. How about that? And with Cormetis down and out, we'll see whether or not he reconnects. Certainly going to try to get back into the race. A race he was dominating with such a large advantage, playing the strategy just right. We'll find out when he's going to be able to get back onto the surface. He is now 1 lap down, and he will be set to go 2 laps down if he does not reconnect to the session this time by. We'll find out whether or not he's capable of doing so. This is an upcoming development in this event. And it looks like Michael Cormetis has reconnected in the Freeman Racing Network 30. And as he gets his laps back, yellow flag is out. And Aiden Walker is currently your race leader with 10 laps left. It looks like caution flag out once again. And how you feeling getting the lead from, it looks like, a disconnecting Michael Cormetis?
Well, what happened is Mikey's computer crashed, so yeah, that's why all of us admins called the caution, because there was also incidents, so.
And absolutely, incidents out, and you are now the leader as a result of Michael Cormetis disconnecting. How's the strategy playing for you, and do you think you have what it takes to get that victory in the end?
No. I'm Thurston's too fast, and Mikey's, I think, now driving on track. Can you check real quick?
He is driving on track at the moment, actually getting his lap back, so he should be back in the lead lap.
Alright, so.
But that just changed the strategy for you. How do you feel with the remainder of the race ahead of you? 10 laps to go. Going to become 9 this time by.
Well, let's see what I'm doing now.
Well, that makes it evident. Aiden Walker down at pit road. It looks like everyone coming in for a final set of tires and fuel. Is that the case? Or are you going to set it to the alternate tires, because it appears timing and scoring says you're on primaries?
Yes, I am on the primaries. No, iRacing has some things where it does in a compound. So. Oh, Darson missed his stall a little bit.
That we saw as well. Looks like you're going to be switching out for alternates or staying on primaries. You be the judge on that one. It looks like you're going to be switching it out to alternates.
Yep. Let's hope it'll go good here, so.
Absolutely 9 laps to go. Any final thoughts before we get back at it?
13 somewhere, Big W. Go on to 13somewhere.com, order my merch.
And there we have it, Aiden Walker promoting the sponsor here on the Freeman Racing Network. 30, the driver in 93, leads the way thus far. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
There we have it, Aiden Walker, alternate tires, every driver on alternates, and Michael Crometis on a 2-lap-old set, getting his lap back. He'll be on a fresh set, relatively speaking, but everyone else is going to be on a newer set. It's going to be a challenge to run up through the pack like we saw him do beforehand. A 34-second advantage dissipates in a matter of a second. Computer crash, but he is back in the action. And we'll see whether or not he has what it takes to run up through the pack once again. It's going to be a challenge. Michael Crometis, known for using his talent to the max. When he's not caught on the wrong side of an incident, we'll see what he's got in store for these guys. Because certainly, he's got something happening. And he is not done just yet. Race leader Aiden Walker right now, and we still have about a lap to go under yellow. We're going to send it briefly to Fireball Talks nonstop. A few promotions to get through the night, and we hope you enjoy them, as we are going to advertise our next few races coming up: the Iora Cup Series, the F4L Cup Series, and the Highline Racing League High Point Premier Series. A lot of action to get through. I hope you enjoy what we've got coming up for you. It's Fireball Talks nonstop, and we will be right back. You're not going to miss a thing, and we hope you enjoy it.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Driving Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Driving Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arkham Menards. Redesign and rebranding of Florida Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Florida Graphics and Designs. Thank you.
Promotions for the night as we get back to the action once again. Michael Crometis is your race leader, and he will be reset to the front of the pack. And it looks like the 25 machine back where he was beforehand. Let's see whether or not he can be able to finish off this job. And if he does, it will be one incredible upset story here, crashing through the computer to winning the event if he's able to hold on here, but it's far from over. 8 laps to go, it will become 7, and we are green once more in Montreal. Let's get to it. Final time, hopefully. Let's see what these guys have in store. Walker down to the inside, not going to be able to make it happen that time by. Nobody off the track just yet. Everyone's going to be able to make it through. James Thurston already up into second. A monstrous start. And everyone gets by that time by a single file with the exception of Ethan Sky there. CJ almost missed the start. We got one going around. That's Marcus Vanderlee. He's going to lose a bit of position. Nobody else involved. And he keeps going. Top 3 drivers in the bundle. And James Thurston's going to spin it around. Nobody else gets damaged. River Page goes around as well. And everyone keeps it green. Page down and around on his way. Freeman goes in 4th. And Sky in 3rd. Aiden Walker in 2nd. And Michael Cormetis has 1.5 seconds of a lead built up thus far. And this race far from over, but building up the lead he had beforehand. He's trying to do it once more with 7 laps left. Still going to be quite the challenge. Here on out, he's got to be perfect. Ethan Sky falling down the runner, or he's going to actually get it spin 360 degrees there. And we're going to try to check back on what happened. 15 seconds replay. Yellow flag is out. And this seems to be the cause. Single car incident there. Everyone's able to get by it. But multiple single car incidents prompt the yellow flag. Even Scott got it going. The yellow flag was called. And Thurston immediately goes back into warming up those tires. Well, Michael Cormetis leads with 6 laps to go. It's far from over here. We're just getting started. We'll see whether or not the overtime procedure comes into effect. 25 laps in out of 30. And it's been an exciting race once again. Aiden Walker second now. Kyle Freeman third, River Page and Marcus Vanderlee. They went out for a majority of this event. Thurston now separates the two. Ethan Sky 7th and CJ Allman is in 8th. Allman going to be able to get back a lap or two. Michael Cormetis leads the way. 6-lap-old tires compared to the remainder of the field being on a 3-lap-old set with the exception of CJ Allman and River Page being on 5-lap-old sets and 2-lap-old sets respectively. And Michael Cormetis still leading the way in that number 25 Red Bull machine, getting back from an incident out of your control. You're back in the show and you are leading with now, it's going to be 5 whole laps to go left after this lap is completed. How are you feeling with only so much time remaining?
I honestly don't know. From lagging out, having to get back into the session and getting my lead back under caution, it's been I feel like it's been a crazy sequence of events, but I've had a good place all race long, even before that. Got onto the primary tires. Doing a spin. Oh my!
And apologies there. It looks like you got damage. And that is going to be a game changer there, as it looks like.
He didn't even let me know he was going around.
You just got absolutely hit there, and Allman went on his way. And
dude, who the hell was that? They just
that was CJ Allman in a 97 machine. But as we look at it on our end, it's net code for us in a severe amount, so we're not really sure what's going on.
He didn't even let me know he was going around.
And he gets contact there. And hits you there, and now
that's awkward.
You're in a bit of trouble and not sure what's going to be done. Certainly, you're with the race control admins in your voice chat, and you're going to have to see what's going on there as you're going to fall through the pack.
Alright, yeah. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Obviously, since that just happened.
Now, that does change everything. So it looks like Aiden Walker, Kyle Freeman, Marcus Vanderlee on their way. You lead the guys in pit road, so now you're in 4th following that incident, and you think you got the pace to get back out front.
I don't know what the admins are going to do about that. Because, yeah, I'm not sure. So I'll just have to see what happens.
Absolutely. Quite a shocking ordeal under the yellow flag from the lead. Contact. sent back to the middle here. You got the newest tires on the field. You're leading the pack with those fresh sets. Still a chance here for the 25 machine of Michael Cormetis. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And absolutely, how about that for CJ Allman and Michael Cormetis making contact under yellow. And on our end, it looks like Netcode will certainly iRacing registered that incident as something else. Cormetis, 5 laps to go. It's going to be 4 laps of green flag action from here on out. Not happy about that one. CJ Allman still trying to get laps back. Still going as if nothing happened. That's the thing. Not really sure if it was contact on one end or not. But CJ Allman does not appear to have damage on our screens. And Cormetis saying no warning on that one. Just going through. He was slotted in during that segment of the track. Of course, the hairpin, very hard to make a position on the outside, even if everyone else is going to be pacing it through. While there was difficulty to pass regardless, might have just made it a little more complex throughout. And how about that? There is yet another development in this race. A lot of action here. And Michael Cormetis now going to have to come from the back of the pack, or rather the middle of the pack, all the way up to the front. And he'll show us what he's got this time by, as Aiden Walker is going to show us whether or not he's got the pace to get the victory. Everyone else behind him, Kyle Freeman and Marcus Vanderlee right behind him, as a matter of fact, coming up front for the first time all race. It's a new set of drivers up in the front of the show. Let's see what they have in store for us. Freeman already using all 2 of his faster pairs, but no retirees yet. Major start for Aiden Walker. We're green again, and he's going to take him green very early. About a few seconds early, as a matter of fact. And a major start leaves Kyle Freeman in the dust, and it's going to leave Michael Cormetis with an opportunity to get right by the Marcus Vanderlee machine. And it's going to be 3 wide for just a moment. Thurston going to take him 3. Vanderlee there as well, and Michael Cormetis gets right through, and Cormetis gets both positions right back. And a very close call for Cormetis. James Thurston taking it very, very nicely. A 3-wide maneuver for the driver, the 96. A very impressive job there, as Vanderlee loses some time and loses a spot there. Kyle Freeman in second. Aiden Walker is in first. And they pulled away quite nicely on Cormetis and Thurston. Thurston has a lot of speed, the fastest driver in this race. His fastest lap, much faster than that of Cormetis, is by 7/10 of a second. Ethan Scott spins it around, nobody has contact. And side by side, River Page and Marcus Vanderlee were for just a moment. Page gets the maneuver on the inside line. Big time dive there for CJ Allman. And he's not going to be able to make that one stick for position. And there they go. Page on his way. Aiden Walker leading. He's got 6 uses of the push to pass remaining. Let's see what he's got left. He might have the pace to hold on here, as Michael Cormetis is going to come up on Kyle Freeman and James Thurston, not too far behind. 4 laps becomes 3 laps to go here in Montreal. The race is on its way. Freeman going to make a defensive maneuver. Cormetis is going to get by. Thurston tries to stick it 3 that time by as well, but Cormetis gets right by Kyle Freeman. Freeman going to watch and wait as James Thurston gets behind and now gets in front of the 29 machine, and it's 1 position in front of Cormetis to perhaps get the victory. A 2-second lead for Aiden Walker. He was just about a 1/10 of a second slower last time by. That won't be enough to lose the lead, but he gets a big wheel underway. And Aiden Walker using all the push to pass he has to hold on to what he's got in front of Michael Cormetis. Walker watches and waits. Both drivers have 4 push to passes left. James Thurston has 8. It's going to get very intense from here on out, coming down to the back straightaway. Only 3 more times they'll come through the back straightaway, including this one. So it's going to mean all the more if he uses the back straightaway push to pass right here. And right now for James Thurston as well. Thurston not using it just yet. He's got the drag. Kyle Freeman using it as well. Everyone but Thurston seems to be on the push to pass here. And Aiden Walker not choosing to use it. Thurston using the drag to his advantage. A very nice maneuver, and he's going to gain that speed as well, using Cormetis as a sort of lock-on. And 2 laps to go. Aiden Walker leads by 7/10 of a second. And Cormetis has been waiting for this one ever since he got back onto the sim. So close in Iona, so close in F4L, back-to-back nights. and he wasn't able to make it happen. CJ Allman having a lot of trouble here. Gets onto the curb, sausage curb, once again gets it back underway. But Michael Cormetis looking for that victory, and he's been chasing it all week long, race after race, to no fruition. And today might be the day where that all changes. Let's find out. Slicing through the track at a breakneck pace, 3 drivers in a bundle and a half a second leading. Aiden Walker has only half a second, and he had up to 2.5 seconds when this battle began. But now that lead has dissipated, and his chance to pull away has gotten to be a very, very unrealistic possibility for the driver of the 93 machine. There's still so many 2 laps left, and Thurston now watches as 2 drivers getting the push to pass right in front of him. He's going to have 8 opportunities on that push to pass in the final lap. We might see the fastest lap from James Thurston all race long this time by, if he uses them wisely. He's now on the push to pass. 1 lap to go. It's 3 drivers in the bundle. Who's going to get it done? Cormetis now right on the back bumper here. It's going to get very, very close. Let's watch on board with the driver of the 25 machine getting so close. Walker getting a bit scrolly. Push to passes on, and then they go side by side for the lead. Thurston watches, they touch, and now it's game on for James Thurston. He has 5 push to passes left, and Walker's defending hard. And Cormetis watches. Thurston goes on the inside line there, tries to move Aiden Walker out. Not going to be able to do that. Thurston gets back on a push to pass. Aiden Walker, 1 push to pass left. Michael Cormetis is out of them. And now Thurston with the clear advantage and momentum. They make contact. Walker's going to be sent around. Big time maneuver. Thurston, Walker, they're both out of this one. Big time damage, quarter panel gone, or rather, the front wing gone, and the rear wing gone for Walker and Thurston. River Page comes up on them, and now Page is a shot at second. Thurston limping around, Michael Cormetis far, far ahead. And how about this? His computer crashed, and then he wrecked under yellow, contact with a lap car, but today, no one seems to be able to stop him. He's on the right end of the incident, and Michael Cormetis comes around to win the Freeman Racing Network 30 in Montreal. And what about that? Thurston second, River Page gets it done in third, and Kyle Freeman in fourth. Aiden Walker goes home to fifth. Sails it into the cap sets. And what a performance by the driver of the 25 machine in Michael Cormetis. Burning it down already. And a celebration of an incredible job here. And what a show put on by Michael Cormetis in the 25 machine. He's not going to forget this one. He's been waiting quite a while to feel this once more. The checkered flag in the sim. And the motor has blown for the 25 machine. And how about that, Michael Cormetis? He's going to be talking about that one for a while now. What a show put on by the young driver. Gets it done in style. We're going to be watching the slow motion cameras as he comes home. Your race winner, Michael Cormetis, getting it done in style. How does it feel after such a long battle?
I can't believe that, honestly. After lagging out, getting wrecked, getting my suspension broken under caution, it's unbelievable the amount of sequence of events I had to go through to get before I had to get that win. I was driving like a madman through those last few laps to just try and get up to the front and past Walker on the last lap, and saw him in my mirror. I was pulling away, and then they wrecked behind me. So that's when I knew I basically had it won. But not sure what happened there, but feels really good after all the stuff that happened to me this race. It's probably one of my best drives in IndyCar yet.
And absolutely, what a drive you had, and had to face it all. How was it on that final restart, clawing through the pack from fourth to eventually first, with a series of fast drivers chasing you down throughout the entirety of that sequence?
I'm just glad I didn't wreck anybody or just wreck myself, because I was really trying to push it through those last few laps, and I just didn't want to step over the edge. But got past Freeman, then got past Thurston, then got past Freeman, and eventually past Walker. So and I was on fresher tires as well, so that might have been a factor. But yeah, it feels awesome to get this win after all the circumstances.
And absolutely, the circumstances playing a factor, but still getting it done. And you've got a lot of momentum coming into next week at Charlotte. The Charlotte 100 is going to be next week here in the Full-Send IndyCar Championship. You confident for that one? As it looks like that will be a oval event, and it won't be on the Roval that time by. We've seen you with the Roval very, very quick in the Iora Cup Series, but it looks like the oval, a new challenge for these IndyCar machines.
I feel like I'm probably not going to be as good, just because I'm not really that good at harnessing dirty air, but I learn as I go. So hopefully we can at least pull off maybe a top 5 would be good for me.
Absolutely. Learning as you go in tonight, you learn how to put it into victory lane in the Full-Send IndyCar Championship. What a performance. Michael Cormetis puts himself on the map here, and he is your race winner. Thank you for your time. And there we have it. That is your race winner of Michael Cormetis. And now we're going to get to the driver of the 96 in James Thurston. Second place tonight in a tumultuous final lap. How do you feel after that last restart?
I mean, probably the only thing I could have honestly done is just beat Cormetis, because I was intentionally not passing him so that we could work together enough to catch Walker. And when we did that, I fell back just a tiny bit too far, where I couldn't pass Walker when he did, and that's really where it ended. Because I mean, I was just trying to get by Walker to catch Cormetis there at the end, because I had so much push to pass. I probably could have got him in one of the drafting zones, like especially down the final straightaway into the hairpin, or not the hairpin, the chicane. But then Walker kept blocking and blocking, and thought I had room on the outside going into the first chicane. And he pulled a late block when I thought I had the outside, and got himself wrecked. So, I mean, you can't be so predictable that it's easy for people to pass you, but you can't be so unpredictable that it's hard for people to know what you're doing. So that's what happened there.
And absolutely, that incident between you and Aiden Walker certainly changed the way your race went. Still able to hold on to the second position, as a lot of scrambling for position happened immediately after. So still getting that runner-up spot. Good for points, as next week, Charlotte, the 100-mile event. And it's going to be an interesting one at the Oval. How are you feeling going into that?
That's going to be dirty or central, so if I have the lead, I'll win.
And there we have it, very brief on that regard. Any final thoughts before we wrap this race off?
Definitely thought I could have won it when I sped. That absolutely lost me the race. So, yeah.
And there we have it for the driver of the 96 machine. James Thurston still comes through for a runner-up spot here tonight and proves the pace from last week far from a fluke. Thank you for your time. And there was James Thurston, but how about the driver rounding out your podium? And that is the driver of that 24 machine in a River Page. And you came through on that last lap and made every moment count, getting all the way up to third in a very, very chaotic series of events. You come out the big winner in that shootout.
Yeah, that was weird. I was just racing with Kyle for fourth, and then I think it was fourth, and then those two they had an altercation, and I got by Kyle, and then I got by Walker. I didn't think I could catch Thurston though, but that was a pretty fun race. I made some happy little accidents that cost me probably some spots, but overall I'm still happy with third.
Absolutely in the third position after quite the night of action. We saw you involved in a lot throughout the pack. Had a few incidents there where Marcus Vanderlee still fighting through, had a little bit of damage throughout the entirety of the race. As a matter of fact, using bolt fast repairs, but you still came home. And how was it fighting throughout the pack all race long?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. You know, like I said, I was making mistakes, so I was towards the back where it was more spread out. But I wasn't that quick, so I was just kind of hanging around, and then I used both my faster pairs for wrecking under caution. But yeah, I just hanging out racing with the guys towards the end, which was pretty fun.
Absolutely made it count at the end of the day, and next week will be an oval, the Charlotte 100, and it will be quite the change of pace compared to the road courses we've had on back-to-back weeks. How do you feel going into that one?
I'm pretty excited. I hope I can make it. I like these cars at Charlotte, even though I tend to not be the best at them on ovals, so I think that'll be fun.
And how about that getting through at the end of the day, and it was the tail end of the race that mattered the most for River Page rounding out the podium here in Montreal. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
And there we have it. That will be your podium procedure. And River Page going to be the man that caps it off. Let's get to your race results. And what a race that was. Michael Cormetis comes home your race winner. And he does it in epic style. How about that performance for the driver of the 25 machine, showing them all what he had in store for him. And he did it quite nicely. Cormetis, his computer crashes, he gets disconnected from the server, he comes back, he still wins the race, and he's going to come in with a whole load of momentum as we head to our second oval of the season next week, sending it back from Montreal down to North Carolina for the Charlotte 100. Let's get your results page underway and show you every single driver who showed up for this one. Michael Cormetis leads off, and he qualified in first, and he finishes first with James Thurston in second, River Page in the third position, Kyle Freeman in fourth, and Aiden Walker in position number 5. Ethan Skye in the sixth position, Marcus Vanderlee in seventh, and CJ Allman in the eighth position. Round out the 8 drivers who were able to attempt this race, and the 9 who entered. Of course, the driver, the 62 machine, not capable of running this race tonight. 31 laps down in the 30-lap race. How about that for the driver who reportedly qualified 8th without stepping onto the racetrack, myself, David Kreutz. What a performance for myself, and what a performance from every one of these drivers making it happen here. Michael Cormetis, the race winner, and what a show he put on. He's been waiting for this one all week long. And he gets it in our Saturday night showdown, the Full-Send IndyCar Championship. We'll be back next week on the iRock TV, of course, Roku app. We hope you enjoy the presentation there, and we hope you'd enjoyed it on YouTube no matter where you watch. We are seriously thankful for every bit of support, and we'll be back next time by with the F4L Cup Series, and they always put on a great show. Michael Cormetis looking to come back with momentum from this one to the Cup Series showdown on a Wednesday night. Always a great performance put on there, and we hope you won't miss it. Thank you all for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation. We're glad to have you all here with us.